Of a class, we have 1 through 27 today on lesson 4.4. Let's knock this out. Says in exercise 1-6, determine which of the lines, if any, are parallel. All right, so we have to see which ones are parallel. When I look at this, I'm going to look at the slope of line A. I see that it has a rise of 2 and a run of 3, right? So this is a rise of 2 over 3. When I look at this one, 1, 2, 3, and it has a rise of 2. But when I look at this one, it has a rise. Let's see, a rise of where is this one? The point's over here. So we're talking about a rise of 1, 2, 3, and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would say A and B are parallel. Okay. Now, to do this correctly, I believe they want you to use the slope formula. All right. And if you did, you would go ahead and take y2 minus y1 on each one of these coordinates here and here, right? Over x2 minus x1. And then you do the same thing here and here to these two. All right. And here you go. So line A, you would have 3 minus 1 over 0 minus negative 3. 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. Negative times a negative is a positive, and 0 plus 3 is 3. So that line was 2 over 3, which we could pretty much tell just by counting our units there. On line B, again, we could take 2 minus 0, and then 3 minus 0, which again gives us 2 over 3. But on line C, we see that we're going to take 0 minus negative 3, which is 0 plus 3, because a negative times a negative is a positive, right? And then we're going to take 3 minus negative 2, which is really 3 plus 2, and that's 3 over 5. So we can see that the parallel lines are going to be A and B, right? Because they have the same slope, A and B are parallel. You have number 2 to do. Now it says number 3, line A passes through negative 1, negative 2, and 1 and 0. And line B passes through 4 and 2, and 2 and negative 2. Line C passes through negative 2 and negative 1 and 1. So once again, we can do the same thing we did over there, except they're giving us the coordinates here instead of us having to look at a graph. So you see, we're going to take 0 minus negative 2 and 1 minus negative 1. This will give us a slope of 2 over 2, which is 1. On this one, we'll take negative 2 and minus 2, and we'll take 2 and minus 4. This will give us a slope of 2. And on line C, we'll take 1 and we'll minus 2, and we'll take negative 1 and minus 0. This will give us negative 1 over negative 1, which again is a slope of 1. So because they have the same slope, A and C are parallel. You have number 4 to do. Number 5, well, this is not going to be any different again. We have line A, line B, and line C, right? And we're just going to go ahead and take what our coordinates are for each of those. Now, for line A, let's start with 4y plus x equals 8. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take x and subtract it from both sides. Remember, we want the slope formula, and that's going to be y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we're putting everything in the form that equals y, okay? So over here, we're going to get rid of the x and bring it to the other side, right? By subtracting it, which means we subtract x on this side. This gives me 4y equals 8 minus x. Now we're going to get rid of the 4 so we can get y by itself. That means we're going to divide by 4. Whatever I divide from one side, I do the other. So all this gets divided by 4. Y is left all by itself. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then negative 1, because remember, there's always a 1 there, divided by 4 is negative 1 over 4x. And then we can rewrite this to show that in this slope formula, we're going to have y equals negative 1 over 4x plus 2. All right, so line A has a slope of negative 1/4, right? All right, let's go ahead and go line B now. Again, we've got to get x over on this side, so we're going to subtract it from both sides. This will give me 2y on this side, 8 will come down, and the negative x will be over here. Next, we're going to divide by 2 so we can get y by itself. Whatever I divide from one side, I do the other. And now I have 8 divided by 2 is 4. And negative, remember there's going to be a 1 here, so that'll be a negative 1/2 x. And then we can move it around. And again, we have negative 1/2 again for my slope. Now remember, this was, this was negative 1/4, excuse me. I thought almost it was negative 1/2. So now we got to see what line C is going to equal. All right, because let's see, line C, we're going to move them around again. Sorry, I'm having trouble. There we are. Well, actually, we already have x over here, so we just need to get rid of this 2. We'll divide it by 2, which means we divide this side by 2. Negative 3 over 2x is going to be our slope, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our slope here will be a negative 3 over 2. And it says line C has a slope of negative 3 over 2. Because none of the lines have the same slope, none are parallel. All right, this was kind of a trick question, I guess. None of these are parallel. All right, let's move on. Number 6 is yours to do, which means I have number 7. Write an equation of the line that passes through the given point and is parallel to the given line. So we're going to write an equation of the line that passes through the given point, right? And then and is parallel, right? So it's going to go to the point and be parallel to that line. All right, so we're going to go with the point slope formula. Because the given line, looks like they did it a different way, because the given line is x equals, oh, that's right, x is 9. We don't even have to do that, do we? We know that x is 9. It says, let's see, write an equation of the line that passes through the given point, and the given points are 0 and 2, right? And it's parallel to the given line, parallel to, let's see, because the given line is x equals 9, right? It is a vertical line, and if it goes through 0 and 2, that means it has to be parallel to, let's see, a vertical line going up and down, and since 0 is my x, that means it's going to be going up and down at 0, right? So this would be x equals 0, see? So it says right here, the line is, the line parallel to that line through the point 0, 2 is the line x is 0, which is also the y-axis. Both lines have undefined slope. The equation of the line is x equals 0. All right, so yeah, I didn't need the point slope formula on that one at all. Let's try this one here. This one says that y is going to equal negative 3x plus 2. I'm pretty sure we'll need this point slope formula for this one. There it is. So what we're going to do is we see that it's parallel, which means we're going to have a slope of negative 3, just like this one does. And so we're going to replace our m with negative 3. Then we know that x is negative 1. So we're, x of 1 is, we're going to put negative 1. And y is 3, so y1 is, we're going to put 3. Well, negative times a negative is a positive. So now we have y minus 3 equals negative 3 times x plus 1. Now we're going to distribute our properties. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Now we're going to add 3 to both sides so we can get y by itself. And 3 minus 3 is 0, so we're going to have y equals negative 3x. Okay? That means the equation of the parallel line is y equals 3x. All right? 8 and 9 are yours to do. Let's see, number 11. It says it's going through 6 and 4, and it shows that 3y minus x equals negative 12. Okay, again, we're going to use our point slope form. I'm going to work it over here just to show how easy it is, and then we'll go ahead and disclose it. Remember, we got y minus y1, and y1 is going to be 4. And that's going to equal our slope, right? And our slope over here is negative 1, right? Actually, wait a minute. We have to rewrite this. I almost fell for it. This is not in slope formula. So when I rewrite this, I have to add x to both sides. This is going to give me 3y is equal to x minus 12. So in actuality, our slope is 1. And I got to correct myself again because actually we're going to have to divide this by 3, right? Which means we'll divide all of this by 3. And so this is going to give me y equals 1/3 x. Let's see, negative 12 divided by 3 would be negative 4. All right, so my slope is actually going to be 1/3. And then I'm going to, let's see, pop in x minus x of 1, and x of 1 was 6. All right, now let's go ahead and work this. We got y minus 4 is going to be equal to 1/3 x. And then, let's see, 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. Negative 6 divided by 3 would be negative 2. Now we have to combine, let's see. Yeah, we're going to be taking this and bring it over here, adding 4 to both sides. This will give me y is equal to 1/3 x plus 2. All right? Let's see how we're doing so far. Over here, we started with 3y minus x equals negative 12. We're putting in point slope form. Well, actually, we're putting this just like I said. We're going to minus x from both sides. Right here, we added x, right? I'm sorry, I said minus, but we added x to both sides, and that's what they did here, right? That gave us 3y is equal to negative 12 plus x. That's what I had here, negative 12, and then x. And then we divided by 3. That's what I did over here. That left us was y is equal to, y is equal to, well, I said 1/3 x, and look right there, y is equal to 1/3 x, right, minus 4. So this is exactly what I have here. Now we're plugging this into, looks like they're plugging it into our regular formula. Let's see if we get the same thing. We'll have 4 is y, and looks like they did it a different way. I went about the point slope formula, and you can do it in the slope intercept formula, slope intercept formula as well, because if you plug it in 4 for y and you plug x in for 6, as you can see, you could take the slope, which is 1/3, and put it here. You'd have 6 divided by 3, which is 2. Then you'd subtract 2 from both sides, and b would be 2. And that's exactly what I got over here anyways. B was 2. So either way you did it, you're going to get that. So using m equals 1/3 and b equals 2, and an equation of the parallel line is y equals 1/3 x plus 2. Y equals 1/3 x plus 2. So no matter which way you go about it, you're going to get the same answer. All right, 12 is for you to do. Determine which of the lines, if any, are parallel or perpendicular. Explain. Okay, we've got to determine which ones are parallel, which ones are perpendicular. So let's see. First, let's go with, this looks like line A, this is B, and this is C. So for A, we're going to find the slope. And with A, we see that we have -5 and -4, and -3 and -1. So I'm going to take -4 and minus -1, and I'm going to take -5 and minus -3. Well, negative times a negative is a positive, right? And now we have -4 plus 1, that's a -3, -5 plus 3, which is a -2. This gives us 3 over 2. Now we're going to go to line B, and B is over, let's see, here. And now I'm going to take -6, and I'm going to minus a -4, and I'm going to take -2 and minus a -6. Again, a negative times a negative is a positive. -6 plus 4 is -2. -2 times -2 plus 6 is going to be 4. That gives me a -1/2. Then we have line C. Line C here, we're going to take, let's see, C would be this one. We're going to take -1 and minus -6, and we're going to take 0 and minus, let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry, we're dealing with the green one here. We're taking -1 minus -6 and 0 and minus -3. This is going to give us 5 over 3. As you can see, none of these slopes are the same, so none of them are parallel, and none of them, okay, none of them are negative reciprocals of each other. So none of these lines are parallel or perpendicular. All right. Looks like you'll have to do number 14 on your own. Now I got number 15. Line A passes through -2 and 1 and 0 and 3. Line B passes through 4 and 1 and 6 and 4. And line C passes through 1 and 3 and 4 and 1. Again, we're just going to use our slope formula to find all these slopes, right? Line A is going to have a slope of 1. Line B is going to have a slope of 3 over 2. And line C will have a slope of -2 over 3. Now, none of these are going to have parallel lines because none of them are equal. But over here, B and C are perpendicular to each other, okay? Because they are the negative reciprocal, okay? So let's see. None of these lines have the same slope, so none are parallel. But line B has a slope of 3 over 2, and C has a slope of -2 over 3, which are negative reciprocals. So line B and C are perpendicular. All right, you have 16 to do on your own. Number 17, we're going to have these line A is 4x minus 3y is equal to 2. Line B is y equals 4 over 3x plus 2. And line C is 4y plus 3x is equal to 4. Again, we're going to need to find all these in linear form. And this one's already in linear form. I know what the slope is, 4 over 3, right? Don't need to mess with that one. But over here, this is going to be equal to, let's see, -3y. And then when I move this over to the opposite side, it would be -4x plus 2. Okay? I'm going to be adding 4x to both sides. And then I've got to divide by -3. Okay? This would give me y. This would give me 4 over 3 x. And then this would give me -2 over 3. Okay? And my slope is 4 over 3. All right? And notice we had 4 over 3 over here. So we know that A and B are going to be parallel. All right, let's go with this one. This is going to be equal to 4y is equal to, we're going to have to bring this 3x to the other side. So it'll be a -3x plus 4. I'm going to have to divide everything by 4 to get y by itself. This is going to give me y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus 1, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. Well, this is a negative 3 over 4, which is a negative reciprocal of 4 over 3. So line C is going to be perpendicular to these lines. All right, let's see how we did. We see that line A is going to give us a slope of, let's see, y equals 4 over 3x. Y equals 4 over 3x, right, minus 2/3. Line B was already written as y equals 4 over 3x plus 2. And line C was y equals negative 3 over 4x plus 1. A and B both have a slope of 4 over 3. They are parallel. Line C has a slope of negative 3 over 4, the negative reciprocal of 4 over 3. So line C is perpendicular to line A and B, just like we said. All right, 18 is yours to do. Let's go to 19. Write an equation of the line that passes through the given points and is perpendicular. Well, for 19, since x is negative 6, all right, that means I can go to, let's see, x is negative 6. So I know that I'm going to be looking for a perpendicular line through the points of 2 and 5 is going to be horizontal, right, not vertical, which means that it's going to be 5, that y equals 5, right? So when it's parallel, we're looking at the x, right, the same x. But when it's perpendicular, we're looking at y when they give us x, right? Y equals 5. 21. They gave us an equation again. At least they gave us what the slope is here. So to get a perpendicular line, I know I'm looking for 5 over 1, the negative reciprocal of this, right? So a slope of 5. So I'm going to go into my slope intercept form, y equals mx plus b. I know that x is going to be 7. I know y is going to be 10. And I know that my slope is going to be 5, the negative reciprocal of negative 1 over 5. Now 5 times 7 is 35. Now I've got to subtract 35 from both sides to get b by itself. And 10 minus 35 is negative 25. So using the slope of 5 and the y-intercept of negative 25, we can write this as y equals 5x minus 25. All right, 20 and 22 are yours to do. 23 is mine. We're going to have to turn this into slope. So we're going to have to divide all this by 2 first. And that's going to make this y is equal to, well, 8 divided by 2 is 4x. And negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. All right, so we have a slope of 4. So perpendicular to this would be negative 1 over 4. All right, and we'll be using these as x and y. So now we see that what we did exactly I did, right? We divided everything by 2 and got y equals 4x minus 3. We knew that negative 1 over 4 is the negative reciprocal, so we replace m with negative 1 over 4. We replace x, or x1 with negative 3, right? x1 with negative 3, and y1 with 3. This will give us a negative times a negative, which is a positive. We'll distribute our properties. This will give us negative 1 over 4x, and this will give us negative 3 over 4. Now we're going to add 3 to both sides, and 3 minus 3/4 is going to give me 9/4. All right, and now we have y equals negative 1 over 4x plus 9/4. So an equation of the perpendicular line, remember, we have y is going to be equal to our slope, negative 1 over 4x, and then plus 9 over 4. All right, you have number 24. Number 25 is mine to do. A city water department is proposing the construction of a new water pipe. The new pipe will be perpendicular to the existing pipe shown, passing through 1 and 0, right? Passing through 1 and 0. All right, let's see. So it's going to pass through here, right? And the two pipes will be connecting at their intersection. At what point will the two pipes intersect? So I know that they're going to go through 1 and 0, so I can use that later. First, I'm going to find the slope using this in my slope formula. I'll probably take 3 minus negative 1 and 0 minus negative 2. 3 minus negative 1, 0 minus negative 2. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 plus 1 is 4. 0 plus 2 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my slope is 2. To make it perpendicular, I need the negative inverse. The negative inverse of positive 2 is negative 1 over 2. All right, so yep, that's what they found here. The slope has to be negative 1 over 2, right? So let's see. The slope of the existing pipe is 2. An equation for the existing pipe is y equals 2x plus 3, right? Because it is crossing through 3. And then the slope of the new water pipe is going to be negative 1 over 2. We use the slope and the point 1 and 0 to find the new equation. We're going to put this in slope point form, point slope form, y minus y1, and that's y1, we remember, is going to be 0, right? We said 0, 1 and 0, so y will be 0 and x will be 1, right? And then negative 1/2 times x is negative 1/2 x. Negative 1/2 times negative 1 will be a positive 1/2. All right. So now this linear equation will go ahead and slope-intercept form will go ahead and give us a line here. All right. So the graph shows the intersection at negative 1 and 1. Okay. Check this by substituting the points into each equation. If we do this and we put negative 1, right, for negative 1 for x and 1 for y, negative 1 for x and 1 for y, 2 minus negative 1 is negative 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. That checks out. Okay? And that works out for, let's see, our original formula. Now we're going to put it in our next formula, and we're going to put 1, negative 1 again, right? X is negative 1, y is 1. Negative 1/2 times negative 1 will give us a positive half. 1/2 plus 1/2 gives us 1, and 1 does equal 1. All right, 26 is for you to do. 27, describe and correct the error in writing the equation of the line that passes through 4 and negative 5 and is perpendicular to the line y equals 1/3 x plus 5. So describe and correct the error. They're saying that they're going to take y minus y1 equals m, our point slope formula, right? And they're going to replace, let's see here, they're saying that y1 will be negative 5. They're saying x1 will be 4, okay? And then they're saying our slope is going to be 3. So what is wrong with this picture? If they wanted it perpendicular, remember, it's the negative inverse. They gave us the inverse, which is 3 over 1. What it should have been was a negative 3. All right? So right there is where they went wrong. Okay? This should have been a negative 3 because 1 over 3 in the negative inverse will be negative 3 over 1. Right? And anything over 1 is itself. So that's where they went wrong there. And we're going to move this. It says the reciprocal of the slope was used, but the slopes of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals of each other. So it should have been a negative 3, just like I said, right? And that would have gave us a negative 3x plus 12, right? not 3x minus 12. And this would have caused our negative 5 when we subtracted to be subtracted from 12, which would have gave us 7, right? And we would have got y equals negative 3x plus 7 instead of y equals 3x minus 17. All right? I believe that's all that I gave for you to do. Good luck with the rest of them, and have a good night.